Chris Popper, I'm joined by Chief Glenn Moshier of the Ellsworth Police Department to answer some questions from recent postings we had. Chief, you're doing a sobriety checkpoint in conjunction with the Hancock County Sheriff's Department this weekend, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so it's Friday night into Saturday, and everybody's kind of like, oh my gosh, why do you announce the fact when and where you're doing these sobriety checkpoints?
Well, part of the reason why we do that is these sobriety checkpoints are, we do them not only to arrest and get drunk drivers off the road, but it's also done as a sort of a public awareness. And we want to get the word out there to discourage people from drinking and driving, and then we go out and do these roadblocks, these sobriety checkpoints, to even further spread that word and to show out there, show a force with other agencies, to be out there in the public and let people know that this is an important thing that we do and an important enforcement that we can partake in. Now, beyond that, there are other legal reasons why we do the announcements that we do. There's case law that support that law enforcement agencies have to follow specifically their policies and procedures when putting on these roadblocks and these safety checkpoints. And as part of our procedure, we have it that we are required to notify the public that there will be a safety check taking place.
So this notification is through your Facebook page. I mean, we picked it up because we're friends on Facebook, but so we publicize it as well. So by the fact of you posting it on your Facebook page, that is considered notification to the public.
Correct. Yeah, it's considered public notification. And the important thing to realize is that just because we tell you, okay, we're doing a safety checkpoint on High Street on Friday night, what we do in order to make sure that we're still able to detect OUIs or people operating under the influences, we'll have officers set up all around the perimeter of the checkpoint. And so, yeah, okay, we may have people avoiding High Street and taking Water Street or East Main Street, but guess what? Those areas are going to be focal points for our guys and gals who are on patrol. So the idea that we're essentially telling people how to get away with drunk driving on those particular dates is really not accurate, because those people will be detected. It may not be by the roadblock, but they will be detected by the other officers.
Now, this funding is done. This is an overtime funding. This is a funding that's a grant from the Department of, Main Transportation, or?
Yeah, these the OUI checkpoints are funded through the Maine Bureau of Highway Safety. Okay. Funding, and we have the Ellsworth Police Department has money specifically for OUI enforcement, as does the Hancock County Sheriff's Department. So for this particular event, we're combining our efforts, and we're going to work together and do a larger scale roadblock. As the summer winds up, and we'll be doing more safety checks for around holidays, weekends, and things like that. And again, as much as it is to get the impaired drivers off the road, it's really an effort to do that sort of, public notification and blast it out to the public that, hey, this is dangerous. This is something that law enforcement take very seriously, and hopefully some good will come out of the roadblocks and. I mean,
ideally, hopefully you don't arrest anyone.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly a goal of ours is if we get enough notification out there and enough people know about it, then that discourages them from going out and driving impaired.
How do you answer the question that if someone says this is an illegal stop and search?
Well, and there's case law that protects us from doing what we do, and our roadblocks are set up in such a fashion that we stop every single vehicle in both directions.
It's not random.
Exactly, it's not random, and it's a very unevasive interruption. We are there only for anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds of contact. We don't ask for license. We don't ask for registration. We aren't there to detect other violations. If there's something really, horribly wrong with a vehicle or something, we might have them pull over and address that. But our focus is impaired driving only, and so it's a very brief interruption, and we speak to people and advise them as to what we're doing. And if we don't detect alcohol, if we don't have any clues that encourage us to look further, then we send them right through. And typically it's, again, within 5 to 10 second delay. And when we see that, if and when we see that traffic is getting extremely backed up, which we have had happen in the past, then what we'll do for a period of time, we may open up the roadblock and just let all traffic through to avoid, you know, an unnecessary delay. But typically after 11 o'clock at night, you know, we're able to, with 3 or 4 officers on each side of the road, keep traffic flowing pretty freely.
What happens if you notice a, like, tail light out, a headlight out, something like that?
Yeah, if a vehicle approaches, if it has a headlight out or maybe an expired inspection sticker, expired registration, any of the obvious defects or violations, we'll simply advise the operator to say, hey, you got a headlight out, or you need to get this vehicle inspected. We don't issue tickets. We'll just advise them as to the issue and send them on their way. Again, there are exceptions to every rule, and occasionally we'll have someone roll up that, you know, the registration is long past expired or something where we feel it's appropriate to take action, or a vehicle that, you know, quite honestly shouldn't be on the road, right, where we might have it pull over and take further action. But 99% of the vehicles that come through go through without any delay whatsoever.
All right. It's going to be a busy summer, well, with construction and the tourists coming in and out. What do you want to say to the traveling public?
Well, I think, you know, patience is always important, and, you know, be courteous to those around you when possible, you know, to let other drivers out of parking lots and things like that. And just, you know, just take your time, be safe, and, you know, everyone's got somewhere to be and somewhere to go, and if we all cooperate and do our part, we'll all get there safe and sound. And you know, certainly after you know, last weekend we had a motorcycle accident here in Ellsworth. Unfortunately, the operator was killed, and then yesterday again there was one on the Surrey Road. So certainly, you know, as the weather hopefully begins to improve, yeah, we'll start to see more and more motorcycles on the road, and that's always a concern for the traveling public. So just be aware of that. School will be getting out soon, so we won't have the school bus issues.
No, but then you have kids playing in the road, and
absolutely,
you've got to watch out. Remember, if you see a ball, the chances are there's going to be a kid coming by right after it.
That's right. Yeah, with with schools letting out, there's always the increase during the daytime of children being around and on the roads with bicycles and so forth. And so to just be courteous to those around you and just be mindful of anyone on the side of the road, whether it be a bicyclist or pedestrians, and take your time.
All right, Chief. Thanks very much.
Thank you.